Everyone, Becky from Week 99 are here. So I am in my kitchen today and we're going to actually make something for the bees. And it's still pretty early in the morning because it takes a little while for everything to cool down before I can take it out there. But we don't generally feed our bees unless it's the winter, just because we make sure in the summer we have a big garden. Our neighbors, they go out about 5 miles from our house to get food and to forage. And we tend to make sure that they have everything they need. If we notice that the hive isn't doing as well as we'd like, we do tend to supplement. And in the winter, they can't really get out unless it's over 40 degrees. That's also why we're getting food for them now. It's over 40 degrees outside. After the polar vortex, we're happy at least one of our hives survived. So we're making them some extra food to get them through that last few weeks of winter. So when the flowers start blooming and the first ones come out, usually will be the crocuses or dandelions. Once it's over 40, these bees are going to be outside and foraging. So it's a really simple process, and I'm going to show you how we make food for our bees. And then after it cools down, I will take you outside and we'll install it and put it in the hive. And hopefully you'll be able to see some of our bees. It's the beginning of February. The fact that our bees are out at all are making me extremely happy. I was so worried about them during that negative 38 degrees we had here. There's no guarantee that they're going to survive. I mean, they're outside and, you know, kind of on their own in the winter. So let's see how we make this bee food. And if you want to start a hive, please let us know if you have questions. We're going to be showing more and more of our bees as we go. So let's make some food for these bees. All right, everyone, here is everything we need to feed our bees. So we have 2 cups of water and we have sugar. This is really cheap sugar that we picked up at Aldi's, I think it is. So $1 a bag. It doesn't say it's cane sugar. Chances are, just like most of the sugar you find in Michigan, it is probably sugar from sugar beets because we're a huge sugar beet state, which is very odd to say, but they grow really well here. So most of us grew up eating beet sugar and didn't know the difference. So between that, we're going to make a very simple syrup that you can use in your coffee and everything else. But then we add in a little of this Honeybee Healthy. And this is a feeding stimulant with essential oils. And I got this on, I want to say eBay or Amazon. So I'm going to be making a 2-cup ratio of simple syrup. So I'll put in about a tablespoon of this. And we're going to put it all in this quart mason jar and seal it up with this lid. I'll poke holes in this with a nail and hammer, and then we just basically invert it in the hive. So let's make some food. So to make this food, the first thing we're going to do is put in the 2 cups of water and hopefully not knock the camera out of alignment, but apparently not. As you can see, I use this Analon pan. I got it for candy making like a decade ago. And the main reason is it has these pour spouts that you'll see why that's essential later. Makes it so much easier when pouring things in. So then we're going to put in 2 cups of this sugar and then turn it on. All right, let's get the last bit of the sugar in here. A simple syrup is one of those super easy things anybody can make. It's really, just like the title says, simple. You just do sugar and water and bring it to a boil. So we're going to let this cook for a little bit while I prepare the lid for the jar. Looking for it is starting to boil. There are some sugar crystals that are not fully dissolved yet. So we're waiting for it to fully dissolve, and then we want to bring it to a rolling boil for at least a minute. This will make sure that everything stays liquid and the crystals of the sugar don't go back to being crystals. Okay, just like that, we have the boiling that we want. We're going to give it a minute at this full boil, and then we will be pouring it into the jar to cool. Now, normally if you're making this for yourself, obviously make sure that your jar is sterile. My jars are clean. I'm not sterilizing it for the bees because we are going to be taking it outside in just a little bit here. Before we add in the bee food to the simple syrup, we do make sure that the syrup is completely cool so it doesn't hurt anything in the bee food, but also for the fact we are taking it outside. It is only 40 degrees. I don't want hot liquid on top of the bees, and I also don't want to have the jar break, because even though it's going to be sitting outside, they're pretty resilient. I just don't want to lose some of our jars in the process. Right, everyone, now that all of our sugar is dissolved and we've made our simple syrup, the next step is pretty easy. We're just going to put it in the jar to cool. While it was cooking, I punched some holes in the top of a mason jar lid, so when we screw it on, the bees have a way to access this, but it also makes it so when I put this stuff in here, it gives it time to cool down, and it gives it the air to do that. I mentioned earlier that I use this aniline pan for a reason. As you can tell, it's been well loved and well used over the years, but it's really these pouring spouts that are the reason I bought it, and you can get these on a lot of pans now. But this one still is my favorite. So all we're going to do is pour this into this mason jar. And this is a quart mason jar, and the 2-to-2 ratio almost fills it up. We do want that little bit of space in there as well. So now we're going to sit and let this cool. And once it's fully cool, which is going to take an hour or two, we're going to add in a tablespoon of that Honeybee Healthy. And what that's going to do is make sure that the bees get the nutrients they need that they're not able to get from the flowers and the plants this time of year. So we'll check back in just a little bit. Okay, everyone, it's been a couple hours. The simple syrup is just a little over room temperature, so we're just going to put some of this Honeybee Healthy in, and then we're going to go outside and try to install this in the hive. We're hoping that they make it, or they haven't sealed it up too much. This stuff smells like peppermint and a couple other things. I forget, it has sucrose, water, spearmint oil, lemongrass oil, and lacticin in it. But it's stuff that the bees will be drawn to, and it doesn't look super yummy when you pour it in there. But what it does is it gives them some of the extra nutrients that they need while they're trapped in the hive. Bees don't come outside unless it's over 40 degrees. Today is verging on 50. So we're going to run this outside, and we're going to actually put it in the hive before this rain comes so the bees have some more food. We're supposed to have an ice storm later this week, so we just want to make sure that they have something to make it through. So let's head outside. All right, you guys, so we are out here, and I actually have noticed bees going into both hives. So you can see, if I put this down here, you're going to see bees coming in and out. So what we just did, and we made the bee food for the one hive, I'm actually going to split it between both. So I'm going to have to run back in and grab another jar so we can make sure they both get some food. I did not expect to find bees in the second hive as well. So this is actually really good news. I'm going to run in and split that, and then we're going to get the tool and get into these hives and see what we can actually see and what's going on inside. Okay, everyone, so I am noticing bees going in and out of the other hive that we thought was completely dead. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually look inside and see if there's actually active bees in there, or if they're just coming from the hive I'm standing in front of and stealing the honey that's inside. I'm hoping that we actually have two healthy hives, but we're going to find out. Since it is so cold still, I mean it's 40-ish degrees, I am not suiting up for this. I'm just going to kind of peek inside and see the status of everything. They're not going to be happy that I'm getting in the hives, but we will see what is happening in here. So when I first look in here, let me grab the camera. When we first look in the hive, I do not see any activity. There is some activity actually, a little bit, but I don't know if it's actually bees from this hive or the one next door, and they just haven't taken out the ones that did not make it. So I am still going to put food in here just in case. I'm going to take out these jars that have kind of crystallized inside. So you can see the sugar and stuff that cold weather did that. I mean, we're at 40 something now, and it was negative 38 the other day. So these are, oh, good morning, ladies. It's always interesting to see what happens. So we're going to actually put this in, and again, I poked the holes here. I'm going to get that hive tool out of the view. There is still honey in here. I am seeing a couple bees moving around, but I don't know if they actually belong to this hive or not. So I'm just going to lay this inside. It's going to give them some food. That floral scent and the essential oils that are in that food should attract bees to it. So we're going to see if that actually leads to more bees in this hive. I find it very interesting. I am still seeing some bees in here. So I'm going to close this hive up, and then we're going to check on the other one and then give them some food. Okay, so now into hive number 2. This one we know there's activity. We saw a lot of them out the other day. Move their food over here. Peek inside and see. I hear weird noises behind me, so nothing major happening. And again, the bees don't seem to care that I'm here. They're more happy that they're able to go out and they're able to fly. If it's under 40, they do not go out. So I will show you the difference inside here. We did leave them extra honey. They have a full super down there. Let me show you inside here. See, we have a lot of active bees and activity happening right inside this hive. So my guess, and I suspect that bees flying in and out of the other hive are actually from this hive, just checking it out and trying to forage some of their honey to fill up their extra stores. So you can see over here, you can see some of the honey has been taken from their stores. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give them their thing of food. I'm just going to lay that in here. I want to show you. We have the other ones in here. I think as it warms up, those may turn liquid again. I'm not 100% sure. We do have some bees kind of buzzing us. They're a little annoyed that we've opened up their home. So what we're going to do is we're going to close that back up and make sure that they stay nice and warm. So at least this hive will make it through the winter. We only have 50 some days left till spring. So here's hoping that these guys make it through. Right. All right, everybody, that is how we make food for our bees. It does look like we still have one very strong hive, and then one hive, there's bees coming in and out, but I suspect that the daylight is killing my shot. There are bees coming in and out of that hive, but I highly suspect that they're from the stronger hive, and they're going over there to take some extra honey or whatever they can find in there to fill up their supers. So we will be checking back in with them once spring gets here. Once the first flowers are out, we are going to relocate another beehive, and we may install another beehive. So we may be up to 3 this year. So that's it for today. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and we will be back pretty soon here. We're still doing Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. We will be doing some cooking tutorials pretty soon here, and some cookies and cupcakes. So, and then we have some travel coming up too. But like, comment, subscribe, and I will be back later. Bye.